So one of the baskets we're going to feature in this series is using the Bangalow Palm. This is one that's finished. I've also got some kangaroo straps around it. Here's one that's just plain. This is what we'll be doing. Okay, it's pretty basic, pretty simple. Using sinew up here, you can use, I'm going to use kangaroo lace in this one. You can use sinew, artificial sinew, whatever you want, as long as it's strong cordage. But this is what the Bangalow Palm looks like when you find it out bush. And luckily enough, there was one just over there, a few metres away, which I think is in pretty good condition. It's not too bad. There's no splits. You don't want to get really old ones because they split very easily. Now there's one important thing we need to do before we make our basket, which is actually soak this in water for a couple of days, minimum 2 days, to make it pliable. Because what we're actually going to do is, you can see the bend on this, it's curving that way. When you look at these ones, the curve's in the opposite direction. So we have to make it pliable enough that it can turn inside out. So what we need to do next, guys, is draw this elliptical shape here in the middle of our frond, trim off the ends, fold it over, and we can begin sewing it up. So I do like to keep this end here, this one here, as part of the basket. Sometimes you have to fix up the splits, and in this case we're probably going to have to. So first thing to do is trim off the stem end, and it doesn't really matter where you cut it off, it just makes it easy to work with when you decide where you want the middle to go. Get a little bit easier to work with now. There and there, so we can trim some more off the end of this frond. Yeah, I'll trim to about there. There we go, a little bit more to work with. We can give it a final trim too once it's folded. Okay, now to draw the middle. All you have to do is score the base approximate. You don't have to be too pedantic. Once it starts folding over, it'll fold to shape. So that's scored now. And you'll see when we fold over, it'll go to the approximate shape of that score mark. There we go, that's one side. And now for the other. Okay, there we have it. Well, here's a couple of Bangalow Palm fronds that are just hanging in the air, and woo, no splits. This is awesome. That's another one I'll have. That should be enough. Yep, nice and strong. I do have a few little splits in the thicker part of the stem, which is pretty normal. They don't go all the way through, so I'm going to cover those up with some pine pitch or some xantharia, I'm not sure yet. But when I do my backpack style basket with the Bangalow Palm. I do it slightly different to the quivers. And I'll show you. I start at each bottom corner, fold it over 2 times. Really got to reinforce where you're putting your cordage and binding through, because these split really easy. Poke a hole in the bone awl. Tie a knot. It's a normal overhand knot. Got to remember too, when you're working with the Bangalow palms, don't pull too hard, because it will just split, especially in a vertical movement. That's why when I do sew up the sides, I go sort of slightly horizontal, so they don't just tear straight up. So now I fold that over towards the base, and again poke a hole through. Now it's 6 folds, so this is quite stiff. So go back up through there. Okay, so now I go across, pull that through. Nice. So we've got 2 horizontal bits of kangaroo cordage there. Now we can actually move up the side. It doesn't really matter what pattern you use. Like I said, don't go just vertical like a single stitch, because of the veins in the palm, it will just split. So you've got to go crossways, like an X or a cross. Okay, now what I want to do here is actually fold it over again. So I have 4 thicknesses of palm at the bottom here. Then when I finish the lacing up the top, I just tie another overhand knot in the previous loop. Okay, there we have it. That's the basic basket. Besides the stitching up the side, if you wanted to, you could have a support system around here from the top, similar to the one I've got down here. Again, with cordage, whatever you want to do. Nice and easy, a basic backpack basket with a Bangalow palm.